everyone. We're back. Look at us. Look at us. Look at us. All this melon popping. We're back with Miss Memo. We're glad that you're able to join us again for our conversations. Again, we're still working on what we're going to do for a live because we want to make sure that it's live. So I'm your host, Effie Durbin. Hi. I'm F, I'm Effie, I'm Alvania, I'm AE Durbin, I'm all these things. And we have our wonderful panel for today. And always, because I love them, my family, my cousins, and they are Sage or Setua, that's what her name actually says.
Hi.
Or Abigail, whichever one you want. We have Davita Selby below us. That's my Davita. Okay.
Hi.
I only know like a couple of people call you D and can get away with it, you know.
Yeah, I'm always like Davita.
Yeah. And she says it with that smile on her face, like, Davita. Like, no. Okay. And then we have Mika.
Hey.
Mika. So everyone, we have our lineup for today. We're going to do our temperature check like we normally do. So today, because I'm drinking wine that I love, and I'm going to start looking into black wineries, and I've been offered or sent a few links. So I'm going to check those out and support black wine connoisseurs, not connoisseurs, entrepreneurs. Yeah, that's probably a better word.
I'm sure there's a name. You just can't think of it right now.
Yeah, I can't think. I know a sommelier is somebody who, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Smells
I
and
want
dates it and yeah.
Or wine vineyards, black wine vineyards.
Yeah, and I ran into one at a wedding yesterday that I was the coordinator for, and you're gonna love that story. Okay, somebody else who chose me as a wedding coordinator because I wasn't gonna let them get away with it. Locked at the door. So
I believe you.
I believe it. Ask somebody, but she just threw it over her shoulder. Oh yeah, me and my husband, we just bought a winery, and I'm looking like, this is a young black woman with a young black husband. Yeah, we just bought a winery over in Napa, and I'm like, I want to get to that. Just throw that out. She wasn't bragging. She wasn't like doing any of that kind of thing.
Just a fact.
It was just a fact. It was in lieu of a different conversation. I'm like, yeah, man.
I love it. I love it.
Right. I'm like, kudos to you. So that brought me to what kind of week I was having. Is it a glass week? Was it a 1 bottle week? Was it a 2 bottle week? Was it we probably need to see a meeting week. So let me check in with you first. Who wants to go first, or you want me to choose? Because I don't mind.
Go ahead,
choose.
And you are not it. Go, Mika.
All right. Well, very convenient because I have my last bottle right here finished. It's the second bottle for the week. So it is a 2 bottle kind of week because I missed the memo that I'm not on that, huh? I'm a little ahead of myself. And this is number 2.
It may lead into your missed memo. So if you want to just say it's a 2 bottle week and you come to the memo, you tell
there was a little left in the corner. I needed all of that.
Oh my God.
So I'll just go into it and talk about the memo that I missed, which led it to be a 2 bottle week because it was a very busy week at work. So I missed the memo that Audacity is at an ultimate high nowadays, apparently. I didn't get that memo. Right. So, last year, this time it was, how was everyone feeling? Let's take the temperature. We're having forums. How were the Black people feeling? And everything matters. And what do you need from us? And now the microaggressions have multiplied. Like that just didn't even happen. Just passive aggressiveness is just turned up. And in an effort to just be quiet, which you got to be sometimes. It's a time to clap back. It's a time to be quiet. I'm on my second bottle.
That's funny.
All right, well then, go ahead, Davida. You can go next. This
week for me has been it's been a glass of champagne. Ooh. It's been a celebratory. It's been a good week. Just a good effortless week where like every day has had the longest to-do list, but it's just been this like ease of getting things done, you know, being in the right mind frame, I guess. Waking up early, getting things done in a way that didn't feel stressful. And to your point, Mika, those microaggressions have been there, right? Like at an all-time high. But it's been more so of like a emotionally detachment from other people's stuff, right? Like so I act like it's not even there. I'm just like, okay, cool. Sounds like you're having a bad day. Let me keep moving forward with this good day that I'm having, right? And like not allowing it to like permeate. And then when I'm done, close the computer and get back to my real life. That's good. So it's definitely been a glass of champagne, and I haven't allowed anyone to interrupt it. So yeah.
Yes. Look, I'll drink to that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salud.
Yep.
But those microaggressions, they're there. If it was a red wine week, I would have been getting at everyone. But I was like, you know what? Nah, not this week.
Not this week. I love it.
Okay. Do you want to do your Miss Memo now, or you want me to come back to you?
I can do my Miss Memo now. So I missed the memo about opening my mail, right? And that's something that I feel like so many people just, right, in this new age of my bills come to me electronically, I check my bank statement, all of the things, you just forget about snail mail. So I finally, you know, since I was having this good productive week, sat there and opened up all my mail. And there was a check in there that I now have to like call and go back to the place to get them to cut another check. But it was a check that I wasn't expecting, didn't even know that I was owed this money. And it's a good amount of money. Like it could pay my mortgage next month. And I'm like, how did I miss it?
That's the champagne popping.
And y'all, I am good for taking a stack of mail and putting it in the trash. Like,
She is.
none of this is my business.
Not that it's addressed to you, but it's not your business. No.
I've already paid it, or it's either I've already paid it, I'm never gonna pay this. They can kiss my ass. Like my mail is normally not a priority.
Oh my God.
And I was like, let me just go through this stack. And it was a check from like a hospital where I had surgery and they owed me money back.
Oh wow! When does that ever happen? What?
That's happened to me before.
Really?
I was pleasantly surprised when I received
And I
it.
called them and they were like, yeah, don't deposit that because it's been over 90 days. We need to cut you another one.
90 days? You ain't checked the mail in 90 days?
I haven't checked the mail all year. Let me be very honest.
Oh my God.
What?
I don't
Terrible.
Oh, then I feel good. I feel better. Whew, Jesus.
I tell people,
That was nothing but God.
don't believe the hype. I live a very raggedy life. Like,
That's funny. Wow.
I live a very raggedy life. So yeah, the mail is something that has not been a priority.
I
But
love it.
yeah, I missed the memo that checking snail mail is still a thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, say what you.
I love it.
So, for me, I think I would say it's a 2-bottle week, only because I just had a busy week this past week. From Monday to, I would say Thursday, I had a very busy week at work, literally working from 7 to 7 every day. Because I was helping, I'm on the hiring team at my job, and we were interviewing all those days, and it was a lot. It was a lot. So that's a 2-bottle week. But I didn't have any drinks because I am trying to lose some weight. So I wish I could join the 2-bottle crew, but I can't. Not for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. I'm giving myself 6 weeks. I'm on the biggest loser at work.
Why get on the list of things not to ingest for a diet?
Well, I'm sorry. What was the Vita's question?
What do you do to is de-stress a word? To
Yeah.
de-stress if you're not
Oh
doing
well, I haven't ever been a drinker, so I'm not like losing out on anything. So I don't really feel like I need to have it. However, when I do have it, I feel good. So cutting alcohol out my whatever isn't an issue for me.
Yeah, that's not a sacrifice, which is why I don't understand why you made it a part of the diet.
What? Cutting alcohol out?
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily part of the diet, but it wasn't part of the plan either.
about it.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Not that I'm forcing you to drink. I just
Oh no, when I drink, here's the thing though. When I drink, I drink. Like I'll drink 2 bottles easy. However, I don't drink every day.
Okay. And not
You
that
see
I'm
what
in your marriage business, but I would imagine Davida, that in order to de-stress, she got a whole husband there.
That's true.
Who? Oh,
What do you mean who? What
grown
is
folks
going on?
stuff.
That's
Yeah,
true.
talking grown folks stuff now.
Look, I'm about Gabrielle, bring me the other bottle in the fridge.
Lord
Yeah,
Jesus.
Y'all said to me, I need a refill.
That's funny. Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Mm. Don't ask him any questions either. But anyway, so my what was it? My Miss Memo was I missed the memo on allowing my money to work for me.
Okay.
And I made a huge decision, I would say this a couple of days ago, that will help relieve me. And in my head, I'm like, why didn't I just do this sooner?
Right.
Because it's my money, but I'm letting it sit there. Why can't I make certain moves so I could free myself of debt and stuff like that? So that's the memo I missed. Financial literacy has become a thing for me, and that's the forefront of my mind right now. Making sure I make the right moves with whatever little bit of money that I have.
Make it fun
And
for the future show. Don't forget, because that's one of the topics.
oh, that is one of our topics coming up. No, for real. This is huge for me because I'm surrounded by people who don't necessarily make more money than me, but they know how to move their money.
Yeah.
And that's a thing that we as a community, when I say we, I don't know if it's just African Americans, but I would say Ghanaians too. We don't talk about money a lot. And I think I want to change that. I want to change that with my children, and I want to change that with the students that I work with. So yeah, because I'm sitting there telling them certain things, and I'm like, wait a second. I'm telling them this, but what am I doing in my personal space? So yeah, I made a huge decision. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be credit card debt free in like a week or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yes, emoji.
Yes. Well, it was all with my money. Why didn't I think about this before?
Because we just didn't. We don't know.
We don't know.
We weren't taught. We don't.
And it took somebody else of a different shade to kind of mention it at work, and I was like, "Hold up,
I can do that."
And I'm like, "Wow!" It just went ding. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" But yeah,
call me later.
Okay. For real. For real.
Yeah, I like that. I'll speak to that point. We had a family chat, and one of our cousins dropped in there like, hey, if you're into stocks, you might want to check out this one.
I remember that.
I jumped right on it because
I
am into stocks, and I'm trying to build my financial literacy. So we're going to delve more into that in another episode when we talk about financial literacy, because we need to know, and sharing is not going to hurt anybody. It's only going to bring us more wealth,
Yeah.
All right. Well, my week, ladies, is ending with celebratory wine. And I got my bottle down here because you're not alone. You're not alone. Okay. But it was sprinkled with shots that I wasn't expecting. I was coordinating a wedding this weekend, and you'll notice that anyway, I had to get a new photographer. last minute, and did not want to stress the bride. I wanted to fix it before the bride even found out. That was one of the things that I like about doing this kind of a thing for other people, is to be that, stand in the gap and make sure that I help their day be their day and not worry and stress. Even though you can't take all the worry and stress away, brides are still going to break down and cry the day before, sometimes the day of. It's just what's going to happen. Okay. But the things that you can help, I wanted to help. So got that done, got to the wedding reception. I know all of the bride's family, I know all the groom's family. So it was a party for me, you know, and I had to remember to I got to wrangle my friends now. Because when you're a wedding coordinator, you don't know the people. It's easy to say, okay, everyone get on, you know, do that, la, la, la. But I couldn't turn all the way into who, y'all know how I am. We organize. So, and I said, okay, you know what? Why am I stressing myself? They're going to do the right thing. They are, because they all have seen me go crazy. Nobody wants to see me go crazy. So really, they're just enjoying the day. Fine. They generally did what they were supposed to do, and it was fine. Day of the wedding, the groomsmen, come on, Derb, come on, take a shot. Nope, I got work to do.
Thank you, darling.
Next thing I know.
Oh, you were serious. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was serious.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was very serious. This one, you see what you did? I'm glad you being put on screen. Lord Jesus. Gabrielle is 21 for everyone who's asking. But yeah, and I think that those shots kind of mellowed everything out. I will say this, shout out to us, because what did they walk out of the hall with? On what song? What song do you think that they chose? Get chose UGK.
Oh, wow.
I was like, this looks like a movie.
That's
The bridal party walked out to Nothing Even Matters. The bride's sisters sang her a song, with the music, you know, sang her down the aisle. But on the way out, I mean, everybody's talking about, play your part, play your part. You know, I was like, all right. It was a really cool vibe. You know, so my drinks this week wasn't from stress. It was little celebratory things in between. And yeah, I feel like I've been drinking since Friday. So yeah,
good for you.
Trying to maintain. The memo I missed. What memo did I miss? So for those of you who don't know, I'm writing my thesis, my doctorate, my dissertation. I write my dissertation. I missed the whole memo that they have been having writing sessions. I missed the first two because I was doing graduation.
Oh no.
I was a graduation coordinator, so I was helping with that. Actually called the graduates' names at graduation. Again, voluntold, because I missed the memo that was part of my job. I was just told to. Okay. So in doing other life things, I missed that memo. And I'm like, oh my God. So I didn't actually show up to the third one. And it was a good writing session, you know, because apparently I need structure. I'm a butterfly, but I need structure when it comes to schoolwork. I need that. I need to be somewhere at a certain time, doing it for a certain time, for a certain duration. This is important to me. And though I'm going for this doctorate, I'm gonna tell you what, I missed the memo. I think I should be doing something else. I'm still more of a creative. Oh, I'm gonna use the doctorate, honey, because I work for it. So I will be employed as Dr. Durbin somewhere. However, I got a lot of taps on the shoulders saying, hey, can you, I'm already married, but, you know, I might got somebody for you, or, you know, can you help coordinate my wedding, or can you do my baby shower? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you can.
You know, I can't do what you do. You flourish, and I've watched you do events and come to life. I don't come to life. I wake up in the middle of the night like, that person get paid. Like, getting out of my bed, going to the laptop, looking at my spreadsheet. Okay, yeah, check, paid. It's not the same good feeling.
Yeah.
No.
I call it eustress. It's a good feeling, a good type of stress.
I can only do it for people I love. I love doing it for you. That was easy. You know, at least for me, it was easy because, you know, you get to tell people what to do. Go here, go there. Come on, let's get it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know for a living. I might have to choke somebody. I was putting out fires, and I don't play politics, and y'all know it. I'm building manager, the security I'm paying, you know, making sure everybody all right. The parents, we're wearing masks. What we doing? That.
Well, wearing masks is part of it now.
Yeah, COVID adds a whole other layer. So.
Yeah.
And I was worried about the elderly people there, and I was like, y'all wear your mask. Wear it. I said, but the bridal party coming down, they're not wearing masks in this. No, because the pictures will not have a mask on it. No.
Right.
You know, I made sure everybody walked 6 feet apart though.
The extra level of like coordinating that you have to do with this COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, cheers.
And now I sound like a raspy frog because my throat is gone. I'm enjoying the weather, moving the photographers, moving everything. So, but I had a good time. Great weekend. I've not had a great out weekend. And I even went and hung out last night. Went to the crab bar and had more shots, more drinks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who was that man in your pictures?
So what
I
happened
wasn't saying
was
nothing.
We just slid that in there. I wasn't gonna say
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but you know, since she mentioned it,
You
the
made
lies. I was gonna say something.
official. So, and he was on Instagram and Facebook. So I said, all right.
I was like, hold up.
not
Somebody
the double appearance.
This is not the groom. He doesn't seem like just a random wedding guest.
Oh my God. Davita just put it all out there. So let's go.
I missed the memo. So
We missed that memo, right?
So he is a very nice man. He is an
yo man.
who and again, well, you know what?
Davita, did you say who is the man? Not what is the man?
Right. It's
Okay.
Is he your man? Let me be very direct since that's how you operate, since you need structure.
According to him, we never broke up.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I'm like, okay.
A man who knows what he wants. All right.
Yeah, but he's in Atlanta, so
What
that part.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Apparently nothing, because you all are on team him because he said the same thing.
I'm just trying to figure out what you
funny.
Yeah, we're not on any team. We just asked a
That
question.
means nothing, F.A.
That's what he said. He's like,
For real.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, he's in Atlanta, so
If I could do a New York Atlanta relationship, you could do a Florida Atlanta relationship or a Jacksonville Atlanta relationship. Come on now.
welcome
not
to
that
the
far.
family.
I didn't like how she was about to leave that whole part out. I mean,
Well, he's the one I went out with last night, so you know that's cool.
you ain't say that.
I didn't. Okay.
Okay, so you got a man and he lives in Atlanta. Cool.
Okay, we got
He
it.
got a woman that lives here. In
Now
Florida.
y'all gonna see her more often. That's what's gonna happen.
Right. Look, or not. We'll see.
Oh, or not. True.
I would never come to Atlanta and I see y'all. That doesn't even make sense. I don't think that's happened.
It hasn't. You at least let us know you here, if nothing else. So you know,
And say
we got the
let me
memo.
say anything because I try to make sure it's very rare that I don't see you when I'm up in New York.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now that the segment of all the business, all the tea spilled. When we're off air, y'all will get a name, but you know, not right now.
I was gonna say, don't say any names on here, girl. I don't believe in names.
Oh my God.
Don't do it, honey.
My friends are still
This
asking who quarantine dated.
Mister.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to switch modes and go into our topic for today. And I want to make sure I put this disclaimer out to anyone who's watching the show. This may be a little sensitive for you. We're talking about having children, being mothers, infertility, anything that goes along with that, partnerships, everything that goes along with being a mother by choice, by surprise, or, you know, or choosing not to by choice.
I knew I needed this other bottle. Every time they're gonna think I'm an alcoholic. I'm not.
Yeah, she's not.
I'm not.
She's not. Well, just had one, maybe 2 drinks. I'm like, that's my favorite movie. I love Bayyyybeeees. But so our topic, our overarching show name, this is Why You Ain't Got No Kids. Yeah, that is the title of the show. So our Miss Memo. Who made you boss of all of the mothers and all of the women? I missed the memo that if you are of a certain age, that it is all right for anyone to just ask you, why don't you have children? I missed the memo that because we have a relationship, meaning we've been friends or family for a lifetime, that you can just come up to me and say, you don't want no kids? Why you ain't got no kids? And never mind the setting, never mind how I might be feeling, never mind who may be around listening, never thinking if the person doesn't have kids at this particular age, there might be a reason, and maybe they don't want it broadcast in front of everyone. You don't know what persons are going through. But taking that privilege that you know me to just say, why you ain't got no kids? You don't want any? And then with that air to make you feel like something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
I missed the memo that you were owed any explanation. So first, let me say this. Happy belated Mother's Day to the mothers on this panel, and Sage and Mika are moms. I know Davita and I feel blessed that they share their children with us. We get to be aunties, visit, you know, give advice.
I'm back.
For those of you who like shopping, go shop. You know, we built our own relationships with their children at different levels, so that even when, or if, no, when they should call one of us and say, hey, you need to talk to your niece, you need to talk to your nephew, like, get them right. Not that they can't handle it as mothers, but they know that we have a different relationship with them. Right. And it may not work, but at least someone else is talking to them. Yeah. So happy belated Mother's Day, sincerely. And
thank you.
But let's talk about motherhood. Let's talk about having kids. And how did you feel? Did anybody ever ask any of you these questions? You know, why you don't have any kids?
Well, I mean, clearly, obviously,
you had kids, obviously.
You and Davita probably get that question, especially from our judgmental Ghana folk. You know, they comfortably say anything that come to their mind. Yes, I remember this very distinctly. And I feel like I wasn't even old. I was like, what, 24, 25? And the person asked me, but why don't you have any kids? And I remember this particular instance blatantly, because my response was that I'm too selfish to have kids. I'm like, and that's where I was at that time in that space. Like, it's about me, and what I want to do and where I want to go and turn it up. And like, that's not the mode or mentality that I felt like I needed to be in to be anybody's mama. So, so that particular instance definitely stands out in my head. And now that I'm a mom, I totally still stand by that statement at that moment, other than it was none of your business. That was just a fact, because it's the most selfless thing that I do every single day.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I got asked that question. I know you guys all know I had a baby early at 19. So I wasn't really ever asked that question till, I would say, recently, since I got married. And in my head, I'm like, wait, don't you see that I already have 2 kids? Like, why? Just because I got married doesn't mean that I'm looking to have another child. And how do you know we weren't trying? And we just can't have another child. So why are you asking me that? So to me, I feel like people just aren't, like you said, they're not being sensitive to women when they ask that question, because yeah, I have 2 other kids, but why are you asking again? Like, what?
Yeah.
Don't you want more kids? I get that question so much right now. I get that question from family, from coworkers, strangers I just met. Oh, you have 2? Don't you want another one? No, not right now. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Stay out my
It's not
business.
fair. It's not fair to me. And it's crazy because I really didn't understand it because I had a child early. I didn't really understand, like, how do I put this? I wasn't in a woman's place because I've had a child early. So when people started asking me recently, I'm like, Dad, how do my cousins and my friends who don't have children right now feel when people ask them that question? Because I know how I feel. And it's too much. That's not fair to ask that question.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What you got, Davida?
Hey, I don't feel no kind of ways when people ask me that question because I've started to realize that people ask the most ridiculous shit, and it's all based on where they are in life and how they are feeling. It has nothing to do with me, right? When you're married, if you're not married, people are like, when are you going to get married?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you get married, people say, when are you going to have a child?
Mm-hmm.
So you have that one child. When are you going to have another child?
Exactly.
Girls, when are you going to have a boy?
Oh,
Boys, when are you going to have a girl? If you have all your kids and you're married, when y'all going to travel? When y'all going to buy a house? And it's like, if you allow these people and their ridiculousness to rule your life, you're always going to feel less than, right? No one ever says, hey, are you happy? Right? And to me, that is the only thing that matters.
Right.
But in order for people to kind of feel like, I don't know, it's like they take a look at your life and they're like, what doesn't this person have? Let me go in.
Right.
oh my goodness. Okay.
And that's when you start realizing this shit ain't got nothing to do with me, child. You're miserable. Period. And every time anyone asks me that question, I never give them the benefit of the doubt of like, oh, you're asking this because you care about me. No, the hell you
Right.
you don't know me, right? You don't know me, or you feel like there is no way that this person is saying they're happy and they don't have what I deem happiness is supposed to look like.
Right.
And when it comes to a woman, especially, your happiness has to be tied in being in a relationship with someone and having children. Like women, our worth in this world is based on how well we can cook, how good we can clean, and how many kids we can have.
Right.
That's all we're supposed to bring to the table.
And what man you can get.
And when you decide that, like, you know what, I'm going to define what my life looks like for me, that shit blows people's minds. And it truly just really baffles them. Like, how dare you walk this earth with no damn kids and say be happy?
And be happy.
And then people get mad at me when they come at me with a question like that. And I'm like, well, you look like you've been struggling your whole damn life with these kids. Why would I even want that? Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Now I'm rude. Now I'm right. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want that life. And you don't get to dictate that for me, right? But to your point, even about like the thoughtlessness of like, what if I couldn't have kids? Or what if I, right? Because when I tell people, when I used to be very honest, like, yeah, I don't want kids. Oh, I'll pray for you. I don't need your damn prayer. I am what the thing is too, like, especially when you ask some of the older women, you didn't even have a say in whether you had kids or not. If you took a step back, maybe you don't want kids either. The way that you raise these kids, I'm gonna guess that you ain't want them.
Right. You don't like them.
Oh!
I'm just saying.
But when you decide that you're going to live your life with a level of thoughtfulness of what truly works for me, what do I want? You realize it really drives people crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What blows me is when they say you don't have kids, I'm like, well, first of all, I thought the plan was use protection. while you're dating, if we're gonna go according to your plan of how my life should go, if I'm supposed to get married and then have the kids, so I don't have the kids because I'm not married because I was using protection as everyone says we should, okay? So why are you surprised I'm not pregnant? That's the main way you get pregnant is if you don't use contraception. I'm confused.
Yeah.
So
I have a lot of thoughts about this topic.
Yeah, you can't
unpopular thoughts, but you know.
So you can't win. Because if you did what they wanted you to do, then they say, "Oh my gosh, she's having a child. She ain't even married to this man."
Oh, I got that.
And then you have one and you get married, and they're like, "You gonna have another one?" I mean, you can't.
You gonna help me pay for these kids, take care of them? And to your point, Davida, I've been called rude because why don't you have any kids? Because I've been busy raising your nephews, your grandkids, your whoever. But I stopped. I'm not raising anybody else's children, so maybe that's why I don't have any. And now, I still love children, but it's not where I thought it was before. 2 years ago, I want a kid. I want a kid. I've always wanted kids. Today, no. Today, I want to get a tummy tuck.
Girl.
Okay. Today I'm
I feel you on that one.
No, this weekend was fabulous. No kids. I can get up and go, and I'm used to that. I want to be able to travel, not worry about somebody else, not have this on my mind, because I've done it. I've done everything about being a mother except actually pushing somebody out. Okay.
Yeah.
And after being traumatized by Mika.
I'm sorry. I was about to say, don't forget the 36 to 40 weeks of being just taken over by an alien infestation in your body, honey. That's what it feels like.
You know that the toes and fingers roll across the mother's stomach?
She kicked me out her house. I swear to God, she kicked me out her house. That's never happened before.
She wasn't having that baby in my house.
And we were having a Talladega night marathon, so you know it was real. The baby's foot was showing, like kicking out my stomach, and she was like, "What is that? You have to go. You have to go."
She didn't have enough room. She was time for her to come out. Like, no, ma'am, you got to go. I'll meet you on the other side. No. So, I mean, we're laughing and joking, but it came up between some of my friends. And one of them was really hurt because another friend asked them, why don't you have any kids? You don't want any kids? And she was really like, women of a certain age, you shouldn't ask them about kids anymore. Like, no matter how deep your relationship is, unless they bring it up, like, don't just assume. You never know. Some people don't have the emotional stability to talk about it. It is very triggering, and depends on who asks. If your mom is asking why you don't have any kids, now you feel kind of like a little bit of a pressure. Oh, I can't wait to have grandkids, or the way that let's see, their passive aggressive way of doing it. Oh, I'm praying. Mm-hmm. I pray the Lord that I will see my grandkids before I die. You will, from your other children.
Right.
Yeah.
Enjoy. They will be awesome, and I'll be the best auntie in the whole wide world.
Yep.
It's what I realized is I could definitely have a kid if I want to. I'd have to go through, in vitro, what have you. Yes, even with these awesome African genes, okay, I'm still a human growing to a certain age, and now my eggs are not fertilizing. I'm not fertilizing. They're not producing the way they did when I was younger. So you definitely would need some help. But more importantly, I want to do that with a partner. I'm not doing it by myself. I'm not.
Mm-hmm. And that was going to be my other question too. And I don't know how other communities are, but it just seems in our community, especially, where that is just like it's the topic du jour for women, right? Where it's like, no one says I really want you to find love and be in a fulfilling, respectful marriage. I really want you to find a partner that really loves you. It immediately goes to, why you ain't got no kids?
Right.
But yet we look back on communities, our community,
Right.
where people are walking around with so many kids that they can't afford, they might need government assistance, whatever the case may be. And then we judge those people also.
Right.
Right?
Right.
When,
Right.
like, the entire narrative that they've been hearing their whole life is just have a baby, right? And it boils down to have a baby so that you can have something or someone to love you forever. And that is such a selfish mindset to have when you're talking about bringing a life into this world with another human being, right? Like, we never think about, like, who is this partner that you're
Right.
having this child with?
Yeah.
Are both of you guys, like, mature enough to give this child what they need? Are you able to, like, bring this child up in a loving environment? None of that matters. It's just have a baby. And then we look at how our communities are, and then we wonder why.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone is just being told to have babies. Everyone is just thoughtlessly having babies. And it doesn't even matter your, like, socioeconomic status.
Right.
Our community in general, it doesn't matter who you are, whatever. You get to a certain age, and as a woman, you're supposed to have a child. It doesn't matter if you're married. It doesn't matter if you've ever found love. It doesn't matter if the man is in your life. None of it matters as long as you're a mom. It
Right.
gets to a point where, like, being a single mom is celebrated. And I'm like, y'all, really?
So I would say it's celebrated like in the beginning, they're like, get married, get married, get married. But then once you hit a certain age, that's when they start saying, don't worry, it doesn't matter who you have the child with.
It's
right?
like, girl, get desperate.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's not cool.
Yeah. Because
And it's like, why? Why? What happened in your life so great after you had the child?
But it's not that. It's they want to see how you would handle your kid. And just depending on the person, sometimes grandkids are the do-over for the mom or dad. Like, I know what to do now with that kid because it's some kind of strange science or weird science. They think that the kid's going to come out exactly like you. So they get to do it over. And most people have kids who are nothing like them. Okay. They have made some attributes of them, but that is not you. I mean, I am not my mother. I look like her. I have some tendencies like her, but I am not her. Okay. And not in a bad or good way, just not. We're two different names and everything. Okay. Because that man changes up the personality of the kid.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that now I'll share this that, again, when I wanted to have a kid, I was like, I'm going to have myself tested. I went through all the processes, went to the classes, talked to the doctors, got everything was lined up. Everything. I could pay for it and everything. Okay. I was going to be mom. What changed my mind was in the room looking or in the session, you see couples, different ages, different ethnicities, young people, people that were older, whatever the reasons were, they were there. I didn't see any single people there. Not that there aren't, but I didn't see any in my session. And I thought about, we didn't know if it was the issue was with the male or the female. That was never disclosed. And for me, it didn't really matter. What mattered was whatever may be going on, you were going through it with a partner. They shared in that with you. This journey, you were going with someone. So even if you were the woman, and sometimes we could feel that we are not whole if we can't bear children for whatever reason, maybe we had early hysterectomies, maybe we've had rape trauma, maybe maybe you can't carry a child. Maybe your womb is not strong enough, your uterus is not strong enough to carry a child. It could be anything. But what I thought about is they had somebody there who was loving them through it all. saying, don't worry about it. And again, if it was the inverse, it'd be the woman say to the man, don't worry about it. We got this. We're going to go through this together. I came through remembering who I was because I forgot. I could do it and I can do it by myself. I've done it by myself. I don't want to. And when I figured out I didn't want to, then some time went by, years went by, and I was figuring, why did I really want kids? What did I need from it that I hadn't already gotten from raising other people's children, other than the fact to say that this is mine?
Right.
And when I couldn't get beyond this is mine, that wasn't a good enough reason to have a child. It was not a good enough reason. It's not fair because it wasn't for that kid. It was for me. So
yeah,
I just wanted to share.
I have so many thoughts on this topic. I'm like in my mind, I'm like trying to narrow it down. It's a lot. Like part of what Davita was saying is that a lot of times people have kids, but they're like, I want someone who's gonna love me forever. Honey, that's the most false narrative ever that you're going to birth this person and they are going to love you forever. You don't know what's going to happen, right? You do your absolute very best. Let's say you're an ideal textbook mom because there is no handbook, right? And they're going to blame you some days. They're going to hate you some days. They're going to love you some days. Everything is your fault. I mean, even if you're doing it with a partner, it's still on mommy. Like, mommy did, mommy did. Yes. It is like the biggest job ever. And if I'm being as transparent as I can be, because hopefully this touches someone else somewhere. I love my girls to everything. I will not even think twice to jump in front of a train, a bus, a bullet, whatever. But some days I'll be like, why? You know, I mean, whatever it is, whether it's just being able to get up and go, whether it's my paycheck is cut, you know, whatever it is, some days I'm just like, whoo, child, it's a lot. And then you want to do it and do it right. And some days you feel like you're failing. You just feel like, oh, I'm an awful mom and I'm an awful, like your identity becomes so tied to that. So, I mean, I've done, oh gosh, the in vitro, the insemination, whatever. There's this misperception that if you had one child very easily, like I did the first, that the second child will happen the same way. And that's absolutely the opposite of what happened. I'm touching on so many different topics. And to your point, people do it alone and some people do it with a partner. It's not easy with a partner. So I bless, I recognize, I acknowledge, I give a shout out like to the people who do it alone. Because even not doing it alone, some days I'll be like, I feel alone. Because the children come to you before they go to, they will walk past their father.
Yes.
Up the stairs, around the corner and down the block, wake you up out of your sleep or get on FaceTime and call you at work. Like motherhood is such a huge thing. So to go into it without, you know, thought or without being strategic and without, you know, thinking about what the money looks like, what the support system looks like. And beyond that, to your point, there's Davita. Like that support system is real. Just yesterday, I texted her like, girl, did you talk to your niece? Because I know sometimes it's not me that she needs to talk to. It, you know, it's a different relationship. Someone else she loves and trusts. So the village, the village thing is real. Like,
always,
you know,
yeah.
I'm saying being a mother, choosing your partner, just all of it. I've been accidentally pregnant. I mean, God, you know, God knows what's supposed to happen. Because thinking back, I'm like, ooh, that partnership would have been wild, you know. So I could go on and on about what motherhood could and does and whatever it looked like. But it's such a big thing. So for people to just throw it on you, like, why aren't you doing it? Because it's a commitment. It's bigger than a commitment to a mortgage, a commitment to ain't no getting out, boo. Ain't no foreclosing, ain't no.
Yeah. The biggest
life. Yeah.
Life. And
tied to forever. And this person is forever looking at you, pulling. I mean, even before that, the pregnancy, that shit ain't easy. It's not. It was two awful pregnancies for me, leading to great purposes and great human beings. But those 36 weeks were like, take my body, and my body still took in because I ain't get it back. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so all of that, like it has to be intentional. And then what you pour into the kids isn't just what you pour into the kids. You're pouring that into the community, right? So when my girls go out, like, what are they contributing to the community? Are they being good people? Are they out here robbing and because they don't have and they don't know and they need and they're lacking, you know? So at some point, yeah, they have to take ownership and accountability. But at this point, that's on me and on their dad. Like, are we not providing that you have to be out here robbing or begging or whatever it may be? Like, your child is part of a community, so you have to think about what you're putting into the community through your child. So I said a lot. I'm gonna go back to drinking.
So for me, I think I've been through so many, like I've been through the different stages, the single mom, teenage pregnancy. And to be honest, I'm about to say something that's going to blow your minds, but it is what it is. I don't even think Dominique, I told it to Dominique, but Dominique was a choice. Like, I had a situation before Dominique, and I chose not to have that child. And that wasn't a good situation for me. And I couldn't deal with that. So Dominique was a choice. And contrary to what everybody thinks, like, I made the decision to have Dominique. I made a conscious decision at 19 years old. Nobody knows that, and now y'all do. And
Tell me that. I just want to say for the
I was with
record.
you that whole summer. I knew.
Yeah.
I used to walk up to Roy Rogers.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
that's right. You sure
it
were.
was a choice. And people think, I don't think I even said it to Dominique. She probably hears me now through her door, but I made the choice to have her. Because the first time I got pregnant, I couldn't, like, I was like, oh my God, my parents, they're going to kill me. Blah, blah, blah. And I made a choice not to have that child. And I couldn't deal with it. And I was like, ugh. And then Dominique came along, and unfortunately, her dad and I didn't last. But I was a single mother. And honestly, I'm so happy I had Dominique at that time. Because if it wasn't for Dominique, I wouldn't be the person I am today. Because she kind of molded me. She molded me to, like, okay, I got to do this, and that. I grew up quickly. I grew up very quickly from 19. Yeah, it was a quick process.
And
but
with Dominique, you were never, like, you had a great village.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yes, thank you for saying that. When I
right,
yes.
So like all of
everybody,
important to say.
everybody, her dad's side, my side. Like, let me tell you, when I say Dominique was a choice, there was nothing that I needed for Dominique that I did not have. And I believe that to my core. Like, anytime I was in a bind, oh, I'm about to cry, Jesus. And I don't cry.
That's okay.
Anytime I was in a bind, I always knew something was coming, no matter what. No matter what, I knew there was always, Dominique never wanted for anything. Yeah. And I hope she doesn't, like, she always had what she wanted. I was just saying, like, I can't believe it. When I think back on everything, she never wanted for anything. Like, she had everything she wanted to have. I tried to. And her dad was always there too. People don't see him because we lived in another state, but she talked to him all the time. Mm-hmm. So he was always around too. Him and I didn't get along for a long time, but now we're cool. We co-parent very well. Mm-hmm. And we got real good at it at college. I think the hardest thing is parenting an adult. And like, woo, that's the hardest. I think
I'm not ready.
The hardest thing is parenting an adult, because you did your best with them, right? You know they have certain, like, you instill certain ideologies in them or whatever, but you also need to allow them to grow, allow them to make their own decisions. Some decisions you do not agree with, but she's an adult. And at this point, she got to make her own moves and learn her own way. Because if she doesn't make mistakes, I'll be there. And I tell her this all the time. To me, I'm always going to be there. if she makes a mistake. But I guess I'm gonna tell her how I feel, and I think sometimes she thinks I'm nagging, but I'm gonna allow her to make her mistakes. I'll be there to help her any way I can. But I think the parenting an adult, woof, hardest thing in my life.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Well, you
It's
said
rough because you have certain expectations or certain things you are dreaming for your children, and then once they hit that, they go a different direction. It's not a bad direction. It's just different from what you
right.
expected, right?
Yeah.
And it's okay. And to me, I guess I'm a pretty, what is it, liberal parent? Would I call myself liberal? I don't know.
Yeah.
But whatever the case,
We're like, yeah.
is, although I expected one thing from her, she's going a different way, and it's okay. And it's okay. I totally love who she's grown up to be. She's for the most part, she's a responsible adult, and I just appreciate the whole experience. And then with Christian, like I wasn't married either, but I still had Troy. I had to learn to give up some of that single mother mentality. Like I'm not single, and he came out and said, "Abigail, you're not single anymore. Like I need to make some of these decisions." It was hard.
Gotta be involved, Troy.
Yeah, it was so hard, but I think we're doing okay. I still feel like I'm a single mother sometimes because I gotta do the cooking, the cleaning, and stuff. But other than that,
that part ain't gone.
yeah, the cooking. And to me, I'm 44 now. I'm realizing it's not just me. Women all over the world feel the same way that men could be doing more. It is what it is. It is what it is.
That's with the kids. That part is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah,
well,
but I must say,
that is important. You're different people. At 19, that would not have been my story. I was a fool at 19. Book smart and who I was and knowing who you are at 19. Nah, that wouldn't work. And even at 21, because you were 19 and I was 21, when you had Dominique, and I was like, what are you gonna do? He's like, I'm gonna keep her. Okay. All right, well, let's get it moving. But you have to know what kind of person you are. Are you that, all your friends come hang out with you and your baby is a community baby? Who were you at certain ages when you had those kids? Which is why I'm like, I know who I am now. 2 years ago, I would have been, had I gone through, I'd have a 2-year-old right now, or maybe a couple 2-year-olds. You know how these things work. So, and I'm glad that I knew enough to stop, take a step back, and not just go full throttle, because part of my personality is always following through. I said I was going to do it, so now I got to follow through. But for who? If not for me, then who? So I can change my mind. That's fine. And I'm enjoying life, and I'm all right with it. So I look at who's asking me why you ain't got no kids, where they're asking me, how they're asking me, and that will inform how I respond. I have students who ask me, why you don't have any kids, Ms. Durbin? And I say, oh, because y'all won't leave me alone. Y'all bother me. And they go, that's all right, because we're your kids. They're coming from a place of love. Okay, so I get that. It's those twice removed aunties in that I can't even say it right now. It drive me crazy. And I'm like, listen, you have to be thoughtful, because I'm not a child. I'm not 24. I am 46. You can't talk to me like that. We're not friends. And my friends who are friends and understand where I am in my journey, our conversations are different. But I'm not having that conversation with you because you're my elder. We don't have that type of intimate relationship. But it is about those boundaries we put in front of people to stop them from dictating our lives. Because David, I'm with you. I'm like, depending on who it is, you can
like they're not thoughtful with their own lives and with their own selves. They're not going to be thoughtful with you, right?
There's a word.
And it's like I expect you to do and say exactly what you just did and say. Right. And you should expect me to tell you to get the fuck out of my face Always. I trust you're going to be who you are. You should trust I'm going to be who I am. Right. And if you feel like you can come out your face and ask me, you should expect whatever response you get from me.
Like I always tell people, you should have asked someone about me. They didn't do you any favors sending you my way unprepared. Because with a smile, what I've learned from the supplement,
insane question. It's such a right, and it's also one of those things where it's like you never walk up to someone and say, "Why don't y'all have $1 million?"
Right? Isn't that a goal?
Saying, "Why you don't have any kids?" Right? And for me, I've always just been very comfortable knowing that, like, what I truly want, God has always given it to me.
Yes,
time, right? Like the desires of my heart has always been given to me. And if I don't have something, it's either because I don't truly desire it, or I don't have it yet, or he doesn't feel like I need it. And I'm okay with any of those three answers, right?
Yeah.
And that's the part of like having faith that I feel like people forget about at times, where it's like God has given you everything that you want, desire, need, right? He doesn't just give you your needs. He doesn't just give you a cup of water because you're thirsty. He gives you a tap that runs unlimited all day, every day, right? And that is how he has treated me my entire life, where I think I want one thing and he gives me the entire universe. So when it comes to children, it's either he's waiting for the right time for me to have it, or it's something that I'm not going to have, and I'm going to be okay with that because it's something that is not part of my makeup right now, right? It's not part of the life that I'm supposed to live this time around. And if I have feelings about it, I need to figure out a way to be okay with that, right? Because everything else that I have wanted in this life has been supplied.
Yes, ma'am.
Abundance, right?
Yes.
So this, like, God isn't going to just take this one thing that I want and hold it hostage, right? Like, that's just not the kind of God that he is. So you get to a point where it's like, all right, take a step back. If you don't have something, why is that? Right? Because this is a God that has given you more than you could ever ask for. So maybe this is the one thing that you either really don't truly want, or he doesn't think that you should have this time around.
Not even think that you should have. He probably knows what it's going to turn out in the end.
Exactly.
And like, yeah,
exactly.
Nah,
and the thing too is the one, and sometimes when people ask me that question, I sometimes want to be like, do you want to sit down with me for 5 hours? Because I mean, I can go either way, right? I can give you a 1 second answer. Or if you really want to know if this is truly something that you desire to know about me, let's talk about it, right? So here we go, story time, auntie who don't even really know my middle name, but you want to know about my uterus and my ovaries, right?
Right.
One time that I was in a relationship and I really thought that this guy would be a great dad, and we were like, oh, let's have kids. And we both went to I went to the doctor. He said he was going to the doctor. He lied about it. Like, how deep do you really want to go with this?
Right.
And after that relationship ended and I was able to look at things, and I'm like, God was protecting me this whole time. I would have had a baby with an absolute fool. I would have had the most miserable life. And I probably would have ended up in jail because you would have been a horrible father to my child. And I know me and my makeup, that is the one deal breaker in life, where you can't be a bad father to my, like, that's the one thing that I just don't respect. And
no, I don't.
So it's like, you're asking in a very flippant way why someone doesn't have kids. Do you really want them to tell you about the number of times that they went through in vitro and it didn't work? Right. You're flippantly asking a casual question about someone having kids. Do you want them to cry on your shoulder about the fact that they had an early hysterectomy? Right? And it's like, until you're ready for those kind of answers, don't ask these personal questions of people. Right? Like, you don't know. This isn't a question about, like, why don't you eat gluten? You're asking about someone having children. It's
Right.
serious, and
A
until
whole
you're
life
ready for
commitment.
like a very serious answer, don't ask these questions of people, right?
Right.
Like
It is the thoughtlessness. It's
It's-
so
it's
intimate.
so many layers to
It's
this
so intimate.
topic where it's like, y'all, come on. And if you don't know how rude it is, you should. If you think that this is just a casual decision that people make because, you know, Susie down the street is walking around with 5 kids and no one has ever seen a man around these kids. And I mean, but she seems like she's fine, and them kids, they always clean, and they all.
That's not the
Is that the
point.
life that Susie wants to live?
That's the bare minimum.
A man blows on them and they're pregnant and they are horrible mothers. Then you have those who are trying so hard, like, you know, and you're not even given the opportunity. You just don't know people's story. And it is the unearned privilege of you to assert that you can just ask that without thinking.
Yeah.
Without thinking. It's thoughtless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to expound more on that because, you know, Pastor Selby wrapped us up well, very well.
A word this Sunday.
This is another point that I do want to make, because I don't even want it to seem like there's this like this thing with, if I don't have kids, I'm judging people who do, or if you do,
no, not at all.
You're judging people who don't, right? I truly think if you had a child, even like say you had a child at 19, that is what God saw for your life. And to your point, that like, first of all, she has a great father in her life. She has turned out to be such an amazing woman, and she was going to be anyway, because you're an amazing person. You're going to be an amazing mom. You had a great village, right? And God saw that that is the life that you were going to live. God saw that you had something to pour into this girl, even at the age of 19, right? Yeah. Somebody else could wait till they're 45 to have their first child. And that is the life that God wants them to live. And I feel like if everyone can just take a step back and then truly define, like, what does it mean when you have faith? Having faith is going forward with that pregnancy at 19, understanding I'm making this decision because I know what's best for me. Yeah. Or it's being 37 at my age and saying, you know what, I'm going to stay on these birth control pills until I know for a fact this is the man that will be a great father to my child. I know for a fact, even if this relationship with this person doesn't work out, he'll be a great human being to be in my child's life. Yeah. Until I know for a fact that's what's happening, I'm not having these kids. Right. And it doesn't mean that I'm walking around like, oh, I don't like kids. I ain't a kid person. Right. That's not the narrative at all. It's more so I want to be very intentional about who I am, what I am, and a huge decision like having children. I don't want children until I'm in a loving relationship. I want my kids to be brought into this world with me knowing I loved the person that I had you with. We were in love. We poured nothing but love into you. And we were very intentional about the way that you're being brought into the world. Right. And that's it. It's not, oh, Davita don't want kids, or Davita's this, or it's none of those things. I just want to be very intentional that I want my kids to have what I didn't have.
And I had that. Even if it was even if it was for a short time, I had that. Mm-hmm. I like the idea of the partnership. I like the idea of loving someone, of bringing this child through love. Mm-hmm. Just as you said, again, well said. It is about that for me. And I will say this, as you mentioned faith, to me, it's more so about how you see God. We put him so much in a man's place. Mm-hmm. I don't blame him for anything. All I do is thank him. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know why X, Y, and Z happened, because everybody has free will, and this person chose to do that, and that's why it happened that way. If God wasn't sitting up there saying, you know what, let me send him to do that to her, and that's not what was happening. Right. So coupled with the faith is understanding who God is, and this is a journey of your life. For those of you who are women out there, who are mothers, thank you. Okay, because we need more of you to be mothers and pour all of the right things, all of the encouraging things, the positive things, the grace into your children so they can be, as Davida said, a part of a community. As Mika said, who are my kids going to be for the world? You know, we need you. For those of us who are not mothers yet or do not wish to be, we are part of someone's village. We are part of their support system, and we don't judge them if they don't or aren't raising their kids the way we think we should. Okay, it's not about that. And I would also add to those of you who are mothers, if you have friends who are not mothers and they offer you their opinion, their perspective, you don't have to take it as usual. But the worst thing you could ever do to that person is say, well, when you have your own kids, or you ain't got no kids, or these my kids. The worst thing you could do is to say that to someone who always is pouring into your house, into your family,
part of your village,
your village. Because what will happen, and I have done it, is I will become hands off. And when I say hands off, and I am a kid person. I'm there for everything. Yeah. And if I pull back because you make me feel like my opinion has no weight or my perspective has no weight because I don't have any children, your life will go on. Nothing will happen. No tragedy will happen. It just won't have me in it. And I'm great.
Yes, you are. Yes.
This has been an awesome conversation. You all have been amazing. Thank you for your transparency as always. My beautiful cousins, I love them so much. Thank you for your transparency as always. And I really hope for our viewers that you understand that we are not judging or taking sides. Again, the only people we can judge is ourselves, and we only speak from our own perspectives. And these are our experiences, our lived experiences. And though we are all saying these things now, who knows what will happen next year? Davida is 37. Her new life mate may come tomorrow. So a year from now, this conversation may be very different. I'm very much so older, you know. While
it'll still be the same.
You know, I'm just saying. You know, but having that faith, if I wound up pregnant at 50, and please God, if you could work it out, don't let that happen, because I'm thinking about how long before I could have 5 minutes to myself. But if that happens, then I'll walk the faith walk, and I know that everything will be all right.
Yes, it will.
And if you're one of those people asking folks when they're going to have kids, just stop it. If you're one of those people talking about when you going to give that man a baby as soon as someone gets married, just stop it. It's rude.
Yeah, we don't like it. Nobody likes it. Even the married people don't like it, they said.
No.
They don't like it.
No.
So tune in for next time when we word out there for our next Miss Memo episode. It's sure to cause some controversy, I'm sure. Again, this is my show. You don't like it, don't watch. Drop your comments and hit us up. You're gonna see right after this the slate that has all of our contact information. Follow us, at us. We will respond. This is where we are. We're just talking about the Miss Memos of life, and this is our conversation. Okay, from Sage, Davida, and Mika.
Great, guys.
Thank you all. I love you, Mama.
Love
you. Babies. I'm get to Atlanta as soon as possible, okay? And I will
know.
Summer's out because
look, we know you'll be here.
They said they knew. Stop recording.
I'll put together a dinner so we can all meet this man.
He's fun, but he's loud. So
we used to loud. What's loud?
But he's good people. So yeah, we'll put that together. All right, now that everybody's in my business, y'all don't forget, write down your Miss Memos and share them with us. All right. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.